Hey guys, Ellie here. Today, it is a beautiful Sunday evening. This is my favorite time of the day to be outside, to be completely honest with y'all. Because I don't know if you can tell, but it's a beautiful sunset. I'm not one for the majestic, lovey-dovey sunsets. I'm not one of those people necessarily goes crazy over that, but they're still beautiful and still nice to look at. What I care a lot more about is that the sun isn't out bright and blazing hot, just absolutely boiling us right now. A nice gentle breeze that I'm sure you can't probably feel through the screen, but that's okay. It feels a lot nicer, and the animals are all out and about. In the heat of the day, they aren't really doing anything. They're either basically just moving really lethargic and slow paced, just eating what little bit of grass they can, or they're taking shelter, just resting up, just cooling off in the blistering hot sun. And it's not that it's anybody's fault. The sun is just so hot that it drains every little bit of energy you got. That's the way Texas goes. I even saw in the news that this is, quote, the hottest summer ever. I don't know how they determined that it's the hottest summer in 100,000 years or whatever they were saying, but that's what they said, and I believe it with the way it feels, so I'm rolling with it. No, that's not the point of this video though. I'm glad for us all to be out here, me and the animals having a good time. When the sun begins to set, when it's not so hot anymore, that's when they come out, when they're playful, when they're energetic. If you go back and watch all of my previous videos, just actually all of the videos on the farm in general, I bet you the majority of the videos happen after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If you can kind of tell the time of day based on how intensely bright the sun is, or just based on the direction, the angle of the sun, if it's like a little directly above the sky or it's a little more off to the side. And I guarantee you most of the funny clips you see, most of the things with the animals being active and doing cute stuff is after 4 o'clock, slowly when the sun is beginning to set a little bit. But that's all besides the point. I don't even know why I'm talking about all this. I just thought it was a little fun tidbit of knowledge. Today's video is going to be about a little bit more of a sensitive topic that I know a lot of you are going to have split opinions on when I tell you about it or when I tell you what it is. But I'm confident that once I explain myself, if y'all will give me a chance to talk this through thoroughly, I believe that we can all come to a cordial and positive understanding, because the comment section hasn't been very cordial the past few days. For those of y'all that didn't realize that already. Hey, Carrie. Oh my goodness, guys, look. Carrie coming right up to me. Y'all remember she used to be an untouchable? Literally, nobody used to be able to pet her when she first moved here, because she was, I guess, bitter about not being at Pawpaw's house anymore. But now that she's had her baby and that she's gotten a little more comfortable around here, she's letting me pet her like it's nothing. You gotta love it. That right there is growth, and that's progress. The video topic, everything and everything, and that everything and everything, is that what I just said? Anything and everything seems to be distracting me, not allowing me to get into the video topic. So without further ado, the topic of today's video is, oh, and now Walter's coming up to me. Another distraction, maybe the biggest distraction of them all. Hey, buddy. Hey, Walter. We got to work with him. I spent so much time working with Hero that I didn't get a whole lot of a chance to interact with Walter too thoroughly. Hey, bud. You gonna let me touch you? Can I pet your head? Hey, I'm just petting your head. Oh, good boy. Does that feel so good, Walter Melon? I'm petting your head, Walter. See, us humans aren't so bad. We're not bad, are we? We're good eggs. We're good people. We love you so very much. And don't forget that we feed you every day too, so we should get at least a little bit of credit for that. No, but today's video, hopefully that was the final interruption. Today's video is about Sadie. There's a big change going at the sanctuary. Not the end of the world, nothing too drastic, but it's a significant change that will be noticed, so it's better to address it now sooner rather than later. But Sadie, we've decided as a collective group, me, Megan, my dad, Jamie, that it'd be best for her to go to Longhorn Lester's. Kind of We weren't sure about it at first, but after really thinking it through and talking it over, I think that by far that would be the best decision. And let me explain why. I need to explain this carefully though. There's a lot of people saying that we need to try harder, we need to push and try to do different things. Other people saying that she should have been sent to Longhorn Lester's a long time ago. There's a lot of truth in the comment section, but there's also a lot of falsehoods, a lot of things that aren't true. And so hopefully I can clarify some things for y'all. Let's start with the landscape, with the outline of Longhorn Lester's. Longhorn Lester's, for those of y'all that don't know, my dad's property is one humongous 20-acre square. It's just one big square. That's really all it is. It's incredibly simple and easy for any dog to understand as a good boundary or a good perimeter. You look around the sanctuary, you got like an L shape right here, and then it kind of goes down that way good. Then you start zigzagging a little bit, and then you kind of go around, and you got open pasture, you got like open field right here. You have all of the families, pastures that are different sizes and shapes, different kinds of animals. So you can just see how that would be terribly confusing for any dog that doesn't live here or that hasn't lived here its whole life. That's the other thing too, is that at Longhorn Lester's is just my dad's property, just that one big 20-acre square. How complicated, that couldn't confuse anybody. But over here are zigzaggy pastures and all the other family that lives nearby. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's common sense that it's harder for a newcomer to understand what's okay to be in and what's not okay to be in. And that was a big challenge that Sadie had when she first moved here, is trying to get her to understand her boundaries. She had a really bad habit of wandering off, just going places she wasn't supposed to go, getting into trouble with other dogs, with Ivan, Pawpaw's donkey, with other, going across the street, hanging out with other dogs, just different things like that. That was a really big challenge that a lot of you know about. And people told us in the comment section that Great Pyrenees take time. It could be 3 weeks to 3 months. So just be patient and keep doing your best. And that's exactly what we did. We tried to make so many different accommodations for her. We had her in a little yard with Hero as an animal to protect. She escaped from her yard, so we put her in the pond pasture right here. We gave her some of her favorite kind of animals, equine, donkey/horses. She had those at her previous home, so we gave her her own donkeys in this pasture right here. And Sadie stopped trying to escape when she had her donkeys, but then it created problems with the other animals that we have here. The donkeys didn't have enough grass in that other pasture. They were kind of running low, so we had to kind of move them back over here. And then Sadie was hated by the alpacas. Our alpacas have always hated dogs. We tried to get Sadie and them used to each other, but it didn't work. They kept attacking Sadie. And then once she got spayed, we couldn't take the risk anymore. Do y'all see how there were just so many circumstances that were out of me and Megan's control that made it difficult for Sadie to live here? Truly, it was a tough situation. Sadie and me and Meg, neither of us were set up for success the best that we could have been. And we tried our best. We did everything we could to make it work. But at some point, you just kind of realize that there's a better fit for her at a different place. And Longhorn Lester's is exactly that better fit. The pasture is really easy to understand. No confusion about where you're supposed to go and where you're not supposed to go. None of the animals over there hate dogs the way that the alpacas do. And you can't blame the alpacas for hating dogs. They've had bad experiences with them. A lot of the dogs that live around here across the street at other people's houses have been predators to our animals. And so the alpacas automatically view them as a danger. Charlie and Echo they didn't like. Chia taunts them every day, so they hate Chia with a passion. And so it's no wonder they couldn't get used to Sadie, which that's just the way it goes. That's the way it is. There are no animals that hate dogs at Longhorn Lester, so that automatically makes it more comforting for Sadie. And on top of all of that, my dad and Jamie, I got to clarify, I got to put this part really carefully. My dad and Jamie are dog people. They love doing dog rescues. Now, don't get it twisted. Me and Megan love dogs too. We love Sadie. That's vicious right there. That was violent, Walter. Me and Megan love dogs, and we love all animals with all of our hearts. We poured our heart and soul into Charlie and Echo and did the same for Sadie. But it's no secret that our specialty lies with other animals. We're kind of new to dogs. We are a lot more knowledgeable about cats, about goats, and about feathers like these right here. That's our specialty. And so dogs was a learning curve for us. That's no secret. Everybody knows that. And it's the truth. No shame in it. But at Longhorn Lester's, Sadie has my dad and Jamie, who have done dog rescues a lot longer than we have. And they just naturally, they know more about dogs. And I don't want to get too personal, but I know that things have kind of been challenging at times for all of us. And so me and Meg's kind of therapy animal is more so a cat or a feather. Those are the animals that give us therapy and give us peace through difficult times. My dad and Jamie, their therapy animals are dogs. Dogs are the animals that they go to for comfort to get them through hard times. And so we figured that if they're ever going through a hard time, why shouldn't they have this big, beautiful white dog to kind of be a comfort for them during that time if it comes? You know what I mean? At first, me and Meg tried to make it work because, like y'all said, it takes about 3 weeks to 3 months, so just give it some time. And then on top of that, my dad and Jamie had like 10 dogs at Longhorn Lester's, so it may not have been practical to make them take an 11th dog in Sadie. But in the past few weeks, my dad and Jamie have rehomed a lot of the dogs they rescued and given them to good places, because I think 10 is just kind of a bit too many. And so now that they're not over their capacity anymore, this is a lot better time for them to have Sadie. And with all the things, all the challenges that were being presented here, and then my dad and Jamie having more room for an 11th dog, or well, for another dog that wouldn't be 11 anymore, it'd be more like 5 or 6 or whatever it is now. We just kind of decided it was a good fit. We talked it over, and I think that's the best case scenario, the best thing we could do in this situation. And we're gonna miss Sadie. We love her so very much. She had a really good life here at the sanctuary. Don't get it twisted thinking her life was bad or that she was miserable or anything. There's a few videos I put where Meg had gone through, she had a really bad day. And I should have been more careful as to not video her when she was having a bad day, because I didn't realize it then, but I realize now that if you video something that comes off bad, it can get taken out of context. Literally, I can't even talk. It can get taken out of context really bad by the audience really easily. And that's kind of what happened on those 2 videos. It looked as if we didn't love Sadie. It looked as if we weren't giving her the love and attention that she required and all those things. And that's not true. But then at the same time, there were people commenting saying that, Ellie, like, if that's true, like, we have nothing else to go off of rather than what you put on the internet. So whatever you put out there is what we're going to see and is what we have to judge. And that's true. You're right. I should have been more careful with my editing and with what I upload. It's a bad habit I have, is that I edit my videos, of course, but I don't delete very much stuff. If I find something funny or if I'm telling the story that I want to share, I don't really look at the deeper things that are going on beside it. I have tunnel vision. I'm only focused on what I'm talking about or what I'm trying to record. And so people notice things in the background, or people notice certain faces and stuff like that, and they take things out of context. And that's not your fault, that's mine. I'm gonna do better about that, about kind of seeing the big picture, literally, because the camera frame is like one big picture. Do better about reading between the lines. But with all that said, I guarantee you Sadie did have a good life here. She was happy, but at Longhorn Lester's, she can have an even better life. She can be even happier. She can be even better set up for success. And that's all I have to say. I hope y'all were able to hear me out to the end. And I'm confident that if you heard everything that I said, if you're still watching right now, that you can understand our decision and you can understand the way things were the last few days. And hopefully me and Meg don't come off as awful of people as some of y'all thought we were at first. Oh my goodness, guys, that's silly. So silly. Okay. I appreciate y'all listening, guys. I love y'all so very much. I really do. I appreciate all you guys' support and just always having our backs no matter what, through the ups and the downs. This right here is kind of more of a down, but it's okay because I'm confident that in a week or so this will all blow over and we'll be on one of the ups. I know life's like a roller coaster. It's kind of like ups and downs, and so as quickly as you can fall into a rut and be in a down, you can arise and be back in an up again. And so hopefully that's where we're headed, you know what I mean? But all right, guys, with that said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all be sure to let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you guys want to see. Hope you all have an incredibly blessed day. And as I always say, your boy Ellie out.